This video talks about SPM Mathematics Paper 2 for 2023. Question number 16, A1. Name the shape formed by the three posts. The diagram shows three posts labeled P, Q, and R. According to the question, the coach wants to construct two perpendicular lines using these posts. Perpendicular lines meet at a right angle 90 degrees. This means that when you connect the posts P, Q, and R, one of the angles, specifically at point Q, is a right angle. When a triangle has one right angle, it is called a right-angled triangle. So, the shape formed by the three posts is a right-angled triangle. 2. Calculate the distance between post P and post R. Since the triangle is a right-angled triangle with the right angle at Q, we can use Pythagoras' theorem to find the distance between post P and R, which is the longest side of the triangle, called the hypotenuse. Pythagoras' theorem says that in a right-angled triangle, PR square equals PQ square plus QR square. Given PQ equals 2.5 meters and QR equals 6 meters. Substitute the values. PR square equals 2.5 square plus 6 square. Therefore, the distance between post P and R is 6.5 meters. 16, B. We are to find the probability that Zarif or Shafi manages to move to the second round of the competition. The word or in probability, or means either one or both events happen. So, when a question asks, what is the probability that Zarif or Shafi moves to the second round? It is asking for the probability that Zarif moves, or Shafi moves, or both move. Instead of directly finding the probability that Zarif or Shafi moves to the second round, we calculate the probability that neither of them moves, then subtract from 1. It is given that the probability that Zarif moves to the second round is 3/5. So, the probability of Zarif does not move to the second round is 1 minus 3/5 equals 2/5. The probability that Shafi moves to the second round is 4/9. So, the probability of Shafi does not move to the second round is 1 minus 4/9 equals 5/9. If we assume their performances are independent, Zarif does not move and Shafi does not move. The probability that neither of them move is equal to 2/5 times 5/9 equals 2/9. So, the probability that Zarif or Shafi move to the second round is 1 minus the probability that neither of them move. 1 minus 2/9 equals 7/9. This is the probability that Zarif or Shafi manages to move to the second round of the competition. C. A boy has shot an arrow. Diagram 11 shows the path of the arrow from point M to point N. Point M and point N are 1.2 m vertically above the horizontal ground, 1.2 m above the ground. The path of the arrow can be represented by the quadratic function, which forms a curve that opens downward. Calculate the maximum height from the ground. The highest point is found at the vertex, turning point, of the quadratic curve. To find where the arrow reaches its maximum height, find the midpoint between the point M and point N of the quadratic equation. When f(x) equals 0, substitute into the equation. Factored 2. So, one root is x equals 0 and the other root is x equals to 30. This means the arrow travels from x equals 0 to x equals 30. The maximum height occurs at the midpoint. Midpoint equals 0 plus 30, then divided by 2, equals 15. Then, find the height at median where x equals 15. Substitute x equals 15 into the quadratic function, equals 14.625 meters. This is the height above point M. Add the height of point M, 1.2 meters above the ground. Therefore, the maximum height from ground is 14.625 plus 1.2 equals 15.825 meters. 16d. By calculating the mean and the standard deviation for Shafi, compare the performances of the two archers. Mean for Shafi is the sum of fx divided by sum of f. Calculate the total score by multiplying each score by its frequency. 19 times 6 plus 21 times 7 plus 24 times 8 plus 6 times 9 plus 2 times 10. And then dividing by the total number of scores. 19 plus 21 plus 24 plus 6 plus 2. The mean of Shafi is 7.319. Standard deviation tells how spread out the data is from the mean. Standard deviation for Shafi. Sigma equals the square root of the sum of f times x squared divided by the sum of f minus mean squared. Substitute all the data from table 10 and the mean 7.319 into the formula. The calculated result is 1.042. Zarif has a higher mean, 7.542, compared to Shafi, 7.319, meaning Zarif performs better on average. Shafi has a lower standard deviation, 1.042, than Zarif, 1.233, which means Shafi's performance is more consistent, less spread out. Therefore, Zarif better on average. Shafi's performance is more consistent. That's it for now. Thanks for watching. To be continued, see you soon.